line. This is the easiest thing to do because we're looking directly down on it. And this is the easiest place to get control. Now, if you want to make a curve, now watch, see if you can spot the handle there. So you start there with that handle down there. Now we're going to make a curve. Now what you do, you rotate the brush. Now watch the handle on the brush as it's rotating.
Yeah,
see? And by the time I got around here, that's wound completely round.
Yeah.
And some people can make right corners better than left corners, and just kind of depends. See, watch that handle now. Now, the way this works is the tighter the curve, the more you wind it up. Then you got to come down and touch off the little, make the points nice and sharp. This paper is not the best thing to stripe on, but it works out pretty nice for this.
Now that's a hiller?
This is a hiller. There are no more hillers. We're all over. Why Mac can't copy that brush, I don't know. Because that's it. That's it. I'm dead. These are gone, and so it's all over. I can't fight the new brushes. I've tried it. I cannot work with them. They're just clubs.
Maybe we'll have to send Mac a brush and see if they can imitate it.
Even if they just imitate the hair. Of course, the handle on there is all cockeyed. It don't even come out the middle of the brush.
Yeah.
Now, back to this. There just cannot be too much emphasis on the palette. That's where it all lives. All here. I could take somebody that had the basic skill, right, handling their hands and their body and everything, and I could hand them this brush and they could work it.
Once you paleted it.
I could hand it to them and they could probably draw a damn good line with it. But there's no way to transmit that knowledge except practice.
I think by watching this they can get the idea too.
Well, I think so too. At least we pointed out the feel of the drag and everything, which is important, because if you don't have the drag, then the brush doesn't have the rudder action, which is what makes a striping brush work. Now, when you're working on the side of something, which is what in all reality you're always going to be doing, demonstrate that good. We got to have something else to demonstrate. Something over here.
Look at that paper on the can there.
Well, there's so much busy going on there. Am I in the way of this? I think I really am.
I think what I'll do is I'll shift the camera.
Yeah. You know, it took me about a month, actually, to get back in shape.
It takes a while.
You've got to do it every day. You've got to do it every day. If you don't do it every day, you lose it. You lose it. I think it's very much like in music. A musician has to rehearse every day. If he misses a day, you got to pick it up somehow. And I don't think you do. You've got to practice every day. If you lose a day, you've lost some of it. When I used to do a lot of cars, the third car would be the best car. So I used to do 3 cars a day. The third car would be the best. And that would be better than the one the day after. The practice, it's that critical.
I know. I put it
and also you got to be your own worst critic. You're going to be your own worst critic. Now, this is always kind of easy, you know, just going this way because everything's aiming downhill. Now, when you have to work on, or say here, something vertical like this is easy, but that ain't what you're going to be called on to do. Most of the time you're going to be called on to make horizontal lines like this. Now, you've got the sag in the brush to contend with here, see? So, the downhills are easy. And the curves, I always like to start and go uphill, because the gravity seems to keep the brush in better order doing that. keeps it working. But most of the time, what you're going to be called on to do, as far as striping a car is concerned, you're not going to be able to get that car in a convenient position. So you're going to have to be able to also get your body in all sorts of crazy shapes. Now, I figure that what helps a lot of times, I didn't used to do this, but is to lay a piece of tape down and then use your eye on the edge of the tape. But see, mostly what you're going to do is you're going to be making lines this way. Now there's a sag in the brush. It means you've got to get your hand under that sag, see? So the brush, you can see, is actually aiming uphill. But the rudder action of the brush, which is the reason they're built the way they are, see, it'll straighten itself out. See, at this point, I can't even see this because my eyes have gone sour. I don't even see this. It's just feel for me now. But you're not going to be able to get something on a car in an easy way. You're going to have to put your body in the easy ways. And the other idea is to try to put in your mind the idea of making the line in one stroke. So if you are working on a car, you've got to make an 8-foot line down the side of this thing. Thing to do is get your body, you have to start out with your body as far as you can this way, and then bring it all down, and then get this way, and that's about it, usually, as far as you can get. So you can draw maybe an 8-foot line without stopping, because if you stop, it's so hard to pick the line back up again, and to have it on the same plane. So it's the body English thing. And this is why I suggest, see, I started out with this two-handed technique because I didn't know any better, right? And my dad, when he painted small signs, he always used both hands. So I figured that's the way everyone does it. So I started using both hands. Now, there are a couple of the stripers that were around before me, but I had never met any of them or watched them or seen them work. They used one-handed technique. Tommy the Greek up in the Oakland area and Art Summers over in Santa Monica. Both used one hand. And when it comes down to precision, there was never anybody any better, especially Tommy the Greek. He squats down next to it. He does like this, and you never see this other hand anywhere. He palettes his brush, and he just squats down like this, and he goes whoosh right around a wheel in one stroke. And that son of a bitch is perfect. Now, I would see that if you wanted to make one of these 8-foot lines, you'd be a whole lot better reaching like this, see, and pulling that line. But because of not knowing that, I did this reaching out with both hands, which I think is a bad way to begin. I think it's better to begin with the one hand and use my method. I think mine may be better for doing this kind of stuff. Yeah. This little kind of stuff like this, I think the two-handed thing gives you better control. But when you reach out a long distance, this puts you in a bind, unless you got real long arms, and I ain't got them. Okay? See, I do this paletting as a matter of habit. In other words, while I'm standing here talking with you, if I ain't painting, if I'm not striping, I'm still doing this. This is always keeping that right.
Well, you never use any kind of guidelines for those little designs, do you?
No, never. Never. And that's another thing that you can't transmit it. You could make a pounce pattern, I suppose. Like if I was going to do a sign on a truck and the guy was a real fussy guy, I'd make a pounce pattern so I could make it pretty close on the other, make it close on the other side. Other than that, I never do. I just go over the other side and do it. Well, someone has asked me, he says, well, how do you learn to do that? I didn't learn how to do that. That's just, it's a thing that you're born with. And is to have them kind of eyes. And like on a sign, when I see a sign, say on a truck or anything like that, and we talk to copy, I look at it, I see it. It's there. I can see the sign right on the door. It's because I can visualize it. And many people can do that, but many people can't, so they've got to figure on making a pattern. So you make a pounce pattern. And
Or sketch it on.
Huh?
Or sketch it on.
Yeah. And because people seem to think that the idea of being able to go over and duplicate the thing on the other side, they take great importance over that. They worry about that more than anything. And so if you can develop doing that, it dazzles the hell out of them. Right? Just to go over and do the other thing again. Okay? But they will be very critical of that. They'll spot it, and they'll walk back and forth, checking out, making sure there's the same on the other side. That's very important to most people. It isn't to me, but the ability to develop the ability to be able to do it is important to me, or was. I mean, that I like. But as far as it being really important, I don't think it's very important. But most people do make a great big thing out of things being symmetrical. They think that's what it's all about.
Well, how can these kids now, when they start doing this, how can they develop the attitude of making them all different instead of all the same? I notice a lot of kids send them in with the same design they do on everything. You know? What do you tell yourself in your head to make it all different?
Well, actually, I go by where the design is at on the car. Now, to me, if the design is on the side of the car, the shape of the design is going frontwards. Now, if there's, like, say, a door handle, or, say, a radio aerial, or some sort of thing protruding from the car, the thing that I put around that, to me, represents a wake of that thing itself moving forward down the side of the car, and the design is a wake.
But you never put the same thing on anything.
No, there's lots of different ways of making a wake. Okay? Well, the same thing, like you wouldn't get the same wake of the boat flowing through water. You look at the wake, different speed, different hulls, but it's really the same.
Yeah, I see.
And so the design that's on the front of the car is supposed to be coming right at you. The design that's on the back of the car is supposed to be going away from you. And the designs that are on the side are going to the front. And when that isn't done with that thought in mind, people think something's the matter with it, but they can't point it out. Something's wrong. What is it?
Yeah.
That's what's wrong. This design's going the wrong way. It's like an arrow that somebody put in the bow backwards. Right? There's something the matter. You know that the arrowhead is on the front, right? It ain't somewhere else on an arrow, right? It's the same idea. And also that a car is a machine. So since it's a machine, the design stuff wants to be like a machine, or like a machine made it.
Okay, what about the non-mechanical people who are getting into this, like the girls and the kids that have no appreciation for a hot rod? They haven't had a chance to grow up around it.
Well,
you just have to develop to what you say, right? Just
yeah.
Develop to that.
Yeah. Think about that motion all the time. And the fact that on a car, everything's going to the front, same like a motorcycle.
And never make it the same.
No, you don't need, but it has to have the weight. The weight of the design always has to be correct. It's always the arrowhead. The form of motion. Like you don't see a tree except for there's a freak tree in Africa that grows upside down. You never see a tree grow up and get bigger on the top. It's because they don't work right that way.